Very few overseas missions are not without incident. Unfortunately, on some, lives have been lost. I can recall one particular trip. Thankfully, no lives were lost, but there was no end of activity. There was constant shelling, threats of attack, and the fear of roadside bombs. The battalion was on high alert. It only took one person to switch off and lives could have been lost. There wasn't a day or a night, but time was spent sheltering in the bunkers. From the sentry at the main gate to the commanding officer in his office, all personnel were on high alert. Everyone knew their job and remained vigilant. Much of my time was spent in the camp, visiting troops at their posts and checking with senior personnel to see if there was any end in sight. On my rounds, I called in for a chat with the commanding officer. In the midst of all the activity, to my surprise, he was sitting not at his desk or speaking on the phone, but perfectly perched in the middle of the room, gazing at nothing. Undecided whether I should stay or go, he invited me to stay and rest a while. Now, one would have to wonder, was he aware of what was happening outside? I soon discovered he had the situation under control, but more importantly, he trusted in the ability of his staff officers to guide us safely through the storm. I was in the presence of a leader, confident in his own ability, respectful of others, and willing to take time to reflect, to recharge, and no doubt, to pray. So much of our time is spent doing things or thinking about things. We worry about family, we worry about friends, about the future, about our relationships, and we have very little time for ourselves. In order to be the best we can be, we need to set aside at least 10 minutes every day to do absolutely nothing. We all need time to be still and appreciate the pleasure of being alive. Now, as soon as we complicate time, it loses something. If we add a cup of coffee, it becomes a coffee break. If we listen to music, it becomes a music break. If we add a companion for a chat, it becomes a social occasion. If we cannot see God in the quiet moments of our lives, we're not likely to find him when trouble strikes or when the shelling starts.